Every, just drop a message on the chat bros so I know you all can hear me. So basically just like drop a name and where you're joining in from on chat bros. So okay, since everyone can hear me, so makes sense. I love that. Hi everyone, good afternoon. I hope we have been building in the past few hours. I think we officially kickstarted the hackathon yesterday. So excited to see what everyone is building. So today we are kind of like focusing on, we have two amazing speakers who are joining us to talk about their hackathon experience, and also we're asking some few questions you have regarding what you are building, and also how to again put your best foot forward when participating in an hackathon. But before like we dive into that, let me just confirm if we have our amazing speakers with us. Hola here.
Hi, Timothy.
Oh,
Hi, everyone.
perfect, perfect. Okay, you have your muted, right?
Yeah, I'm unmuted now.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So great. Hi, Taye. Are you here on the call?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Finally. I'm in the presence of greatness. So yeah. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me just set stuff up. Okay, great. Welcome everyone. Funny enough, I was unable to do what's the word? My usual DJ for you all because again, I think we kind of like started late. So let's just dive straight into our conversation today. So like I was saying, we'll be chatting around hackathon experiences. We have two amazing speakers who will be joining us to talk about the hackathon experience and also how you can be able to like put your best foot forward when participating in hackathon, and also answer any question you might have regarding what you are currently building, um, and how they could just help and put you through some stuff. So here with me, I have two amazing people which are already like noted, hey, what's up? How I can hear me, hi, I can hear me. So again, you understand that those are the two amazing for folks we'll be hiring. So let me do like a brief introduction about them so you understand why I said I'm in the presence of greatness. So funny enough, we have the amazing VP of engineering from PipeOps on Discord. It's part of our speaker. So yes, like I said, I'm the president of what's the word? Greatness. So we have Olalekan Odukoya, like I was saying, Ola. He's a skilled software engineer with experience in backend development, cloud computing, DevSecOps, and everything related to backend and cloud engineering. So again, he's be sharing his experience, participating in hackathon, and also answering one or two technical questions you have regarding what you are building. Also, we have the amazing Taye, who's just a software engineer, but basically focus on both front end and back end. I usually wonder a lot how people write code, how people do this stuff. I tried it at the early part of my career. JavaScript made me run away. I nearly ran mad. So I have to choose either running mad or or leaving JavaScript. So I left. Now since someone doing JavaScript, doing React Native, doing various framework, Vue, so this a old level of a old new level of God, a new God level. Yeah, that's the perfect word, a new God level. So right, so I'm a software engineer, both front end and back end. So again, we're sharing his accounting experience and also answering any question you might have regarding what you are building. So give me a minute, let me see if I could pin them on the screen. So if you're able to see their faces. Oh, it seems I can't pin three faces at the same time. Just give me a minute, let me see if I can. Just a minute, everyone. Okay, great. Since I'm unable to do that, so I'll keep working on that while we continue our session. So yeah, so I have I have series of questions for you all. But again, I think the biggest one which covers everything is basically have you participated in a hackathon, right? So you like share an experience of how you participated in a hackathon and the lesson you learned, the challenges you had during the hackathon, and also the lessons you learned. Yeah, again, that made the hackathon successful for you. But also like it was like a growth, like a growth stage for you in your career. I think I was starting with Taye first of all because that sounds like a twin name. I don't know. Are you a twin? I tell you, I'm muted.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. Yeah, I couldn't unmute myself actually, so that was what I was trying to communicate.
Oh,
Yeah, give me a minute. So yeah, it's a twin name. I'm a twin. I have a twin sister. Yeah,
perfect.
so I have a twin sister. So what was the question about me participating in hackathon,
Yeah,
right?
so like various challenges you encounter while participating in an hackathon, and also are you able to overcome them?
All right. So the first hackathon I participated in was Craft Hack, and I think this was 2020. Yeah. So it is Craft Hack is an international business hackathon. Um, I was the only Nigerian there, so it was purely virtual. We're trying to build a drone delivery solution. Yeah, so I'm a full stack developer. So I focus mostly on the front end. I build mobile apps. So for the hackathon, I was tasked to build the drone interface. That's where so it's a delivery app for that they use drone to make their delivery. So I was tasked to build the mobile interface, just a simple stuff, two-pager that they just get to you order some stuff on the app and with IoT and the rest, and the drone gets to deliver the package to you. So it's a nice experience because I get to meet people of like mind around the world. And though we didn't even come close to top. Because it's a difficult challenge to fix actually. It was a beautiful year and everything, but we not come close to top 10 actually. But it was a place where I get to meet people of like mind and get to share ideas with other people. And yeah, so it's a nice experience in general. It's a nice experience in general.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, Ola.
Hi.
Yeah. Can you share scenario around various any hackathon you participated, the challenges you had, and how you're like able to overcome them?
So I've actually been at 2 hackathons. And I think the first one was while I was still in school, right? It was I mean, I studied at Yaba Tech, so I was around the Yaba ecosystem. So I mean, then there was always like a lot of hackathon going on compared to now. So I did participate in a few. I won't lie to you, I was always going there clueless because I wasn't actually a computer science student. I was an accounting student, so I just kind
Wow.
of found it fascinating. And I also got interested in trying to build an accounting software. So that was what actually uh, you know, sparked my interest in software engineering, right? So I'll just go there and just be clueless about what is going on. And I think I also participated in some AI hackathons too. I was also clueless. Um, Recently, I think last year, I decided to take my junior brother to just for him to have a feel of what hackathon looks like because he's also currently in school, right? And then I think I got carried away, with the whole hackathon vibe and uh yeah, we did a little application and then we were supposed to demo, right? And I learned a good lesson that, no matter how tiny of a feature you're always building, before you go for a demo, always test, right? Not that I didn't test, I tested, but I don't know, software happened. Uh, And then yeah, the whole demo was just awkward. And and then the annoying thing or the funny thing was I wasn't the one that was supposed to demo. Like I just got carried away. It was my junior brother that was supposed to do the demo. Right. So basically I'll just say I mean hackathons are fun. I mean the most important thing is when you are, participating in hackathon, try to ensure you enjoy the process, right? Make sure don't be too how do I put it? Don't be too strict or too rigid. Yeah, be open-minded, right? You see a lot of people building cool stuff, right? Don't be carried away by what they're building. Just build your own. Even if yours is just a CRUD application, in as much as it works and it works fine, and then it does your CRUD properly, you're good to go.
Oh, okay, amazing. That deeply just even move into my next question. We kind of like answered it in as sharing your whole like experience about hackathon. So right, directing it back to Taye, right? So
Yeah.
what are various tips, right, you could give to first time hackers, right? First time participating in an hackathon, right? Things they should look out for, things they should put into consideration why they are building for first time hackers. But I think most persons here maybe the first time participating in an hackathon, and it'd be great, like to hear from experienced people who are participating in not just one hackathon, more than one hackathon, just like share insight into things they should look out for and things they should know while they're participating in their first hackathon.
All right. I think I'll start from a product point of view. One mistake people make when participating in hackathon is that they want to just build the whole thing, which that is not the case because you have limited time. That's why even products life cycle, you have to start with MVP. That's the major version of the major feature of your product. For instance, now let me say I'm participating in this hackathon and I'm trying to build an e-commerce platform. E-commerce platform is big. You have to have a place where merchants can upload their products, um, where you can manage deliveries and the likes. But you just have to pick a single feature that you know that you can build it within this time frame and it's going to work. Because if you try to, by a team of 4 or 5 developers in the team, you can easily put this off in a night. That might not be the case. That's you building the admin dashboard, all this stuff. No, just focus on the main stuff, one feature, and it's now the work of the person that is demoing the project. So actually capitalize on that. Oh yeah. So the solution is an e-commerce platform. But due to the hackathon time, so we decided to focus on an MVP for now. Oh, on the platform, you can just come, add products, add to carts, and checkout. There are other, like literally, you have forms and buttons for other stuff, or the admin layer and the rest. You can just do like a mock-up there, a screenshot of the mock-up, or even a screenshot of another platform that has an admin layer. You just say, oh, coming soon. Yeah. Coming soon. The judges will understand this. You have limited time to build this out. You don't have to build the entire stuff. Just build the main MVP that you can easily demo and let the judges know that, oh, yeah, the other features that we can add to this just because of time constraints. These are stuff that we feel can be added to this stuff and the rest. Because you don't want to be touching everything, and at the end of the day, you won't have a successful demo. Yeah. So and number two, don't try to use fancy technology. Just use what you are comfortable with. That's what I would advise developers, because we always love to use the fancy stuff that is out there right now. You might need to go and for instance, oh, I'm trying to build a mobile app for the hackathon, and I'm using, for instance, what library should I use? Native base, but now native base have released a new library that's glue stack. It is going to take time for me to go and start looking through the documentation on that and everything. No, what I'll just do, if I'm in that situation, I'll just guide the native base I'm used to, couple my apps together in few days and demo it. That's why when you build products, start from MVP first and you start retreating from there. So basically, just have that mindset. Build the little most important stuff in your idea and demo it to your the people that your judges. So that's the advice I would give on that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, come back. So yeah, hi Ola. Do you have like any other tissue like look hard or first time hackers?
Well, I think Taye already said most of everything, right? I mean, what I'll just chip in is like I said earlier, always try to test. Yeah, test iteratively. You don't want to have an awkward demo. And you don't want to see your application start breaking in front of the panels or something, right? So always test iteratively and be sure that your whatever you're working on, yeah, ensure that it works basically. You don't need to honestly, you don't really need optimization. I mean, it's a hackathon. Hackathon is about speed, yeah. It's mostly about speed. Yeah, so you do not really need any optimization. But just ensure whatever you're working on works. And I mean, if your application is going to break in front of the panels, just ensure that it is not too much. Yeah, I mean, it's software, anything can happen.
Also, just to add to that, it doesn't have to be too fancy. Doesn't have to be too fancy. So don't spend time trying to do nice design and the rest. Just make sure the core functionality works.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So yeah. Then again, I think that's what ever been an issue for me. I think the first time president hackathon, I was sharing the story that should be yesterday, right? During the kickoff about an hackathon I participated regarding with World Bank at see up there. Again, it was a new technology we use, so that caused a lot of like a breakpoint. So we got to the final where we have to like show geospatial data and stuff like that. The new technology, the dev have not used that once before. The moment we got there, they will just reload back to the beginning page again. That's when I realized that working under pressure is when you have a lot of people at your back giving you advice on what to do. A lot of those advice are working. But yeah, so I think the final one I have, right, before we open it up for questions from people right now. So if you have question, please do it like drop it on the chat session or just like raise your hand. So while we don't answer this question, we just like move into a Q&A within the next 30 minutes before 4. So I think this session is scheduled for just 1 hour. So already 30 minutes into it already. So if you have any question, just like raise your hand or just drop those questions on the channel. So I think the final one I have for you and Taye and Ola, right, is what are various tips like you could share for developers, right, working with PyPops right now? Again, this might like be the first time they might be using the tool PyPops for building. So what are like general best practices you feel like they should know about why using the PyPops tool?
All right.
So yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So I will say number one, try and not to go through the guides and the blog, the guides and documentation, sorry. Because I'm also on Intercom, I answer questions that are being thrown on Intercom. And most of the questions, they're already guides on how to go about these issues. So read the guides, read the documentation. That's one. And we build pipelines in a way that is very easy for anybody to use. You don't have to be a DevOps engineer. A front-end engineer can easily come to the platform intuitively and deploy any projects that they want to deploy. So when deploying a project, we automatically try to figure out the type of language your project is using. If it's a JavaScript project, if it's a PHP project, automatically pre-select that with recommended build method for that. So you just need to easily do that. Even if you have a Docker file, PyPops automatically detect that you have a Docker file in your project and automatically build based on whatever configuration you've done on your Docker file. So that's all that. And if you're having any error, the first thing before you start sending messages on Intercom, go through your logs to see if this error is from me or from the platform so that we can easily help you out. And try building your project first locally. That helps you catch local bugs first. So try building your project locally and make sure that builds successfully. Then you can now push to PyPops. And if there's any issue, you can just reach out to us on Intercom and always on ground to help out.
Awesome. That's great. Anything you want to add to it? I think I see some other questions. There's some questions on the chat and also some answers up. So, any additional you want to add, Ola?
Yeah. So in addition to what I have said, yeah, you could, I mean, if you have the time and the expertise, you could introduce LinkedIn tools and add like a pre-commit hook on your Git flows to ensure that you'll be working, especially for those working as a team, right? So you wouldn't have to worry about maybe bugs or different LinkedIn patterns and what have you, and you just focus on just pushing your code and and deploying your code to PyPops, right? So you could deploy things like that in your Git workflows, right? Another thing is while using PyPops, it is it is essential, but it is not recommended, right? So it's not something that you should do, but in my own from my own perspective, I feel like it is essential that you approach PyPops with the DevOps mentality, right? Because that is essentially what PyPops is doing. It is practically simplifying the DevOps process for you, right? So it is essential that you have that mindset while using the application. So literally everything you need to do as a DevOps person here. I mean, this might sound like you need to learn DevOps, so you need to learn all of those things. Well, I mean, but the truth of the truth is that in as much as you are a software engineer and you deploy, you still have to go through that process. So it is it would be good for you if you do not have the experience, from now to just approach it with that DevOps mentality. So debugging would be very easy for you on the platform, and also finding your way around on the platform would also be easy, right? Yeah, thanks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for this amazing Q&A. Like I said, I was in the presence of greatness. So I think I see two hands raised up and also a question on chat. So I think let's go with the hands up.
Sorry.
Okay. So
I
it's like,
also want to touch on a few things.
okay, okay.
So another thing you can do is follow what's going on the community. Yeah. Because some of your community members has already answered most of the issues you are facing. So please try not to follow along. And if we're able to solve your issue via intercom, you can as well post it on the community so that if anybody's having, because there are a lot of people that are trying to attend to them at the same time. So if your issue has been solved one way or the other, or you just solve it yourself, just have your fellow hackathon members in mind that, oh, they might be facing similar issue. Let me just post, oh, this was the issue I faced initially when trying to deploy project XYZ, and this is the solution I came up with. Or somebody on intercom was able to help me with the solution. And this is, I just have to share it to you guys so that in case anybody is having similar issues. Also, I'll also talk about some issues that I've seen on intercom that I think other people, some like frequent issues I've seen on intercom, and it's just an easy stuff for people to do. I'll also touch on that. I think you should just go ahead so that with questions, I think I'll use that to wrap up. Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Okay. Hi, Rashid. Can you unmute yourself and ask a question? Give me a minute. I think you have to like be unmuted for you to ask. A minute.
All right. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. The question I have is, one of the devs in my team, because I'm the product designer and like the manager. He was asking if the system auto deploy, like when you push the code and then the thing like appears on the link. Like he said, he has to do that manually. That it doesn't auto deploy. He was asking if there's a setting that can do it, or if there's no such feature at all.
All
I don't know
right.
if that makes sense.
Okay. Let me answer that. Or do you have other questions?
I think you just answered that first of all.
All
But
right.
most of
So this is a frequent question I see on intercom. So the way PipeOps is configured is when trying to deploy a project, you have to select your deployment branch. Yeah. And whenever you merge into that branch, PipeOps automatically triggers a new deployment for you. I get me. So you don't need to go and start manually trying to trigger a deployment on PipeOps. So if that's not the case on your friends and person in charge of the technical stuff, what he needs to do, he needs to go and link his GitHub. So there might be an issue with his GitHub boards. So he needs to relink it. So if your deployment branch can be develop branch, can be your main branch, can be your staging branch. So as once you've raised the PRU or you made a direct push to your deployment branch, PipeOps automatically picks that and triggers another deployment to your latest commit and everything. So if that's not happening in your case, what you need to do, you need to go and relink your GitHub and you install PipeOps or that's on your GitHub itself so that you can easily pick watch your commits whenever you commit or you merge into your deployment branch. Yeah, thank you. And if you don't know where your deployment branch is that you use, what you just need to do is on your project detail, click on your project detail page, you go to the settings tab. You see a section there that's source control, and you see your deployment branch there. So you can switch from that point, you can switch your deployment branch from wherever branch you want to switch to. So you can also do that from your settings page. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. So I think
Yeah, I should add to what Taye has said. So there are times that what Taye has said might not be sufficient. So you could, if that does not work, so when you try to deploy a project, right? There's this screen you get that you can select any of your Git provider and an organization, right? So let's say you're using Bitbucket or GitHub, whichever one, and you let's say GitHub in this instance, you select GitHub. It gives you an option of connected organization, right? So if PipeOps is not there, then you need to add PipeOps as an organization, right? So you click on add organization, then it takes you to GitHub for authorization, right? So PipeOps to be able to listen to. I mean, basically, GitHub would be able to communicate with PipeOps whenever you deploy to your selected branch. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for chipping in. I think let's just go through the chats before we go back to the hands raised up. So I think I'm seeing one for Philemon. Who is classified as the public builder? Today I have to talk about the product in detail during the build phase. I think that's one. I think the technical one here is what happens if the project has a front end in another repo? Will the commit count towards the hackathon if it's also deployed on PipeOps? So I think you're talking about if the backend is on a different repo and the front is on a different repo, right? Then I think the last one he asked was about the 503 is there a fees? Deployment was successful but cannot be viewed.
Okay. All right. I think I will take the 503 error while I take the remaining one. Yeah. So 503 error first. To fix that, you need to check your logs. Yeah. The reason why that's happening might be from your log. Now the other stuff is if you're using a Docker file and the port you put there doesn't match the port on PipeOps. So what you have to do, you have to copy the port in your Docker file and go to the network tab on PipeOps to paste it so that it's going to match. Another thing is maybe your app is starting. So you just have to debug it. You go to your runtime log. If your app is starting, it's going to show that your app is starting. So all what you just need to do, just give it a few minutes for that to propagate and for you to be able to view your project. So basically, you just have to troubleshoot it yourself. If you are getting 503, go to your runtime log. You'll see the error. If you're using a Docker file, make sure the port matches was on network tab for was configured on your network tab for on PipeOps dashboard. Go through your logs. You will see most likely was the case, what's causing that, and either your app is waiting to start, and you just have to give it a few minutes for that to start actually. Yeah.
Perfect. Ola, should I repeat the question? I think if you get it.
You can actually repeat the question. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. No worries, no worries. Happy to do that. So I think the first one is who is a classified public builder? I think this is basically for the hackathon team. They have to talk about the product in detail during the build phase. I think the one focus for you should be what happens if the project has a front end in another repo? Would the commit count towards the hackathon if it's also deployed on PipeOps? I think basically it's around if the front end and back end is deployed on various repos.
Yeah. So let's start with front end and back end, right? So if your front end and back end is deployed on separate repositories, right? So your commit count, I mean your commit quota still counts, right? So I mean whether they are on the same repository or they are on separate repository, right? It still counts, right? So you don't need to be bothered about that basically.
Okay, great.
To add to that, bear in mind they are not being judged based on your commit count. It's based on your presentation on to the judges, your product and the rest. You should just also have that in mind too. Yeah.
Yeah, and also regarding troubleshooting the 503 error, right? So if you check your server detail, there's a tab called events tab, right? So you can also get an insight of what is going on in your application, right? Most times if you get a 503 error, from what I've observed, right? So most times you get 503 errors out, when your application isn't running, or basically I don't want to use too much technical terms, but when the service basically the networking service is unable to communicate with your application, basically that is when you get a 503 error. So if you see errors like that, I think we should look at the logs, check the events. You should be able to get a key of what is going on.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll jump to the next one. Minutes. How would you advise as the best way to deploy a full stack app, e.g., a React front end and a Flask backend plus database, and we are deploying to a dev, or also are we deploying to a dev or on production?
Alex wants to go with that.
Sure. Deploy is
Right.
yours.
So, what our advice is, you shouldn't use a mono repo. What I mean by mono repo is your backend and your front end. This is just an advice. It works, but what our advice is for you not to have your backend and your front end in one single repo. Separate them. Have your front end separate and your backend separate, and you can now deploy, because you have to, when trying to deploy now, for instance, if a case of a mono repo, when you get your build settings page, you have to specify the paths. So okay, you want to deploy the front end aspect on that mono repo, you have to specify the paths. Now another thing for that is, if you have a mono repo and you trigger a deploy, you commit, and you are deploying them separately, the back end and the front end separately. But once you commit into your deployment branch, both projects get triggered immediately because of is one repo, and if you did the same deployment branch, you're going to get triggered immediately. That's why I advise you should have separate repos. Or your backend has X repo, your front end has Y repo, so that if you should trigger a deployment, it's not that both of them will get triggered at the same time, and for you to have more flexibility. So that's why I advise having them separately. Yeah, I don't know if I've been able to answer your question. What? Yeah.
I think the other one here is it should deploy on dev mode or on production, or it doesn't really matter.
So I will advise, so for you to get the best out of it, I'll advise production, but you can do anyone as far as it works. There's no problem.
Okay, but I think the last one will be answering on chat for going back to answers that I raised up. So my project built successfully locally, but failed on pipe-ups. The logs do not even flag any error. It says successfully updated image. So meaning site is live, but does not get deployed, always getting failed.
You have your project cannot just fail like that. There will be something in the logs that let you know why it fails. You should hit the project URL, and you need to see if it's a 502 error that is showing on the page, so that you can from there know how to deploy, how to go about the fix. The next thing, you can go to your project detail page of that deployed project, to the event tab, and you'll see most likely and the reason why that the deployment failed. If that can't solve, if that wasn't helpful, you can reach out. Just reach out to anyone.
Yeah, and it is important to note that because you in the logs you see successfully or uploaded to registry, right? It doesn't mean that your application is actually live, right? It is one of those reasons why I said why you are using pipe-ups, it is essential that you approach it with the DevOps mentality, right? So what essentially is happening when you see uploaded to the registries, your application is being built into an image and pushed to the registry, right? So that is what is happening. Your application hasn't started running at that moment. So pushing to registry and your app running are two different things.
So just to add to that, another way for you to easily know at what point your app failed, your deployment failed. If you should look at PipeOps logs, you see that PipeOps logs are categorized into 3 stages. You have your commit stage, your build stage, and the deployment stage. So if it fails on the build stage, you'll see on the build tab there'll be a red button around it, a red border around it. That states that your project failed during the build stage. If it's on deployment stage, that means your project deployed successfully, but it failed during the deployment stage. So it's going to help you better know how to go about your debugging and fixing the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if it fails at build stage, I think it's a clue that maybe your application isn't building correctly. So before you do anything, just try to build it locally first and see what if it's going to build locally. Then if it builds locally and you still get that error at the build stage, then you can always reach out to the support team.
Yeah, so another thing you can do is, if for instance you have a React project and the framework you selected was React and the build failed, you can decide to switch it to other front-end framework. That's the framework where you select your framework and your build method. And just switch it to different stuff to see what works. So Nixpack is one of the most popular stuff that works for almost all front-end framework and HTML framework. So if you select your framework and it doesn't work, I just switch it to any of the build method and see if that works.
Okay, great. I think there are like a couple other questions on the chat, but again, I think we're more better if they like reach out because they're kind of like more technical and there's not enough context regarding it. So it's better they just, reach out. So going to answer that raised up. Hi, Adewale Joshua. Can you unmute yourself and ask a question?
Hi. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay. My question is, firstly, I've chatted, what's it called? I've reached out to some of the admins in using the intercom, what's it called, system. Nobody's responding to me. Some will just ask me what's my question and halfway they will stop. Nobody will respond to me again. So I don't know really what's happening. Well, my question goes like this. I'm trying to deploy a React.js, and then I'm using a SAS, which is SCSS for the CSS part. And then I use GOP to build my SCSS. That's for the public. I use GOP to build the SCSS into CSS, which automatically it build it into the dist directory. On local, everything works out. My server was able to display the CSS in the dist directory, but the moment I roll out the deployment on PipeOps, I noticed that the CSS file is actually returning a mem type of HTML, causing the CSS not to work on the page. So I don't really know what's happening.
Okay, so what you mean right now is the build is successful, right?
Yes.
But your CSS isn't loading in.
It's
That's
not loading in. Yes, the CSS is located in a dist/dist directory.
okay. Can you configure this on your package.json? Like points to where it picks your build for CSS, where it actually builds your CSS, where it actually picks the build, sorry. Is this something you can configure on your maybe like your start script or something?
No. So I think what he's saying is when you build your SCSS, what's it called? When you build your SCSS project, right? It spits the result into the dist file. That is where the HTML is getting the CSS from when it is being served, right? But when you deploy PipeOps, that is not the case, right? So
yes. And I checked through the terminal, the dist directory was there, the CSS files were there. But the moment I tried to use my network tab to get to see the response I'm getting from that CSS file, rather I'm seeing a mem type of HTML rather than a CSS.
Yeah. So I think it might be an issue with the way it was built, right? I think this is a kind of I think it's unique, right? So that this should be something that would be looked into.
Okay, because I've actually deployed what's it called? I once deployed my portfolio there. And everything works out. But for that portfolio, I did not make use of what's it called? GOP or SCSS. I make use of the CSS directory for my portfolio, and there's no dist directory and stuff like that. So everything works fine. But in this solution that I'm working on for the hackathon, I make use of SCSS, and then there's a dist directory, and I'm having issues. I don't really know
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it that
suspecting. I'm
maybe I was
suspecting.
even
Yeah, continue. Continue.
because I was even thinking maybe is there a restriction towards using /dix directory or stuff like that? Is it a unique, let's say a special keyword that we are not supposed to make use of?
No, I don't think that's the case. You are trying to serve a static file, right? So, and
Yes.
we use Nginx to serve your static file. So I think that is where there is a mix. So I think from the look of things, the Nginx configuration needs to be adjusted for it to be able to serve your CSS as CSS and not as HTML. So that is why I said the case is kind of unique and so we looked into.
Okay, and then the other one regarding the API for the project, I deployed the boilerplate for the API, which is the environment, setting up the environment for the API. I'm making use of what's it called, Flask X for the API side of things, and then I pushed to what's it called to PipeOps. I roll out a new update to it on PipeOps, and since then I've been getting errors from my deployment. There's no pod created. Sometimes the pod will disappear and sometimes the pod will come back. So there's no way for me to even check maybe there's an log, there's an error in the server or stuff like that. But on local, everything works fine. But when I push to PipeOps, sometimes the deployment will be successful, but there will not be pod created for me assigned to the project. And sometimes the pod will come, but there will not be errors and the deployment will fail sometimes as well. So I don't know. And I still have memory. There's still enough memory for me to, what's it called, to use for deployment on PipeOps. So, and my CPU is still at least I can still make use of it to deploy, what's it called,
Okay.
a project.
I think
Yeah, I think you should so we won't spend so much time on the call. Maybe you can I think there's someone from support here. They're going to reach out to you.
And I think what you can do is just drop your handle on that's on Slack community so that Ola can reach out to you directly. Drop your handle on your handle on Slack community so that you can just message you on the Slack channel. You're on the Slack channel, right?
yourself. You should look at-
Sorry?
I should drop my Slack handle.
Yeah. So that Ola can just reach out to you directly. That was the communities, your name on the comment, so I can just reach out to you.
Okay.
Ola, please pick is distance so you can just on the Slack community channel.
I've done that at Otekov. I've done that.
Ola, do you get that?
Yeah.
And then this other one, am I free to ask another question or?
Don't worry, you already have direct contact with Ola.
Okay,
If
no problem, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Sorry, is this Adewale? Adewale, are you still there? Or was there another person speaking the other time?
Yes, I'm the one. I even chatted you up, sir, but you are not responding to my chat. I'm the
Yeah,
one.
I've been busy on my hand too.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand.
so if I understand your issues correctly, you have a React app.
Yes.
Ideally, the React app outputs to a directory, right? At the
Yes.
end of the build
Yes.
stage. So it means that in your React code, you would have integrated the SAS to bundle the output as well to the same dist folder, right? As
Yes.
your React app would. So that means inside your dist folder, we should have a static file of index.html and a bunch of CSS or SSS.
Yes, in my static directory, yes.
So now, do you have that right now on your static directory? When
Yes,
you do,
my static directory, everything is the way it's supposed to be. In the terminal, I checked it, everything is the way it's supposed to be. But the moment I try to view the app, the file is actually returning a mem type of HTML rather than the actual CSS in the file. I use the network
what
tab,
build
and I even
method-
tried to use the link itself to the file directly.
Yeah, that's fine. What build method are you using for this?
To build,
Yeah, what build method are you using?
I'm using gob. I use gob.
No, I'm saying on PyPops. Is
The
it
standard one, the recommended one, that was what I'm using. The recommended one.
Stack? Is it Paquito? Is
The
it
recommended one. I'll be happy to say it. Sorry, the recommended one. Let me check. Yes,
So
it's
you recommended one for React.js, right?
yes, recommended one for Node static frontend.
All right, that's fine.
The build method.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Oh, perfect. I think while we wait for that to be troubleshooted or to be worked on, let's like move on to other question. We have just like 2 minutes remaining for this. Let me see who could have on stage. Hi, Olalekan and Olaika. Olaika. Yeah, I can't really pronounce name. But you can you unmute yourself? Hi, Olaika. Yeah, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking. You're breaking.
So the issue I'm currently having email today that it's created by can you hear me? Like same name.
Yeah,
Like
hear you
okay
now.
now. Okay. So
Okay, I think you're having some network glitch. While we wait for you, let's go with someone else. Hi, Adenuga, Kolade.
All right, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I have two questions, please, permitting to ask both. All right, so the first question, right? I am acting on behalf of my teammates, right? So the first one is the Git commit system, right? The leaderboard tracks your, I think it tracks your deployments, right? So we have both the front end and the back end, right? Deployed on separate, what's it called? Separate servers, right? So I think yesterday, our front end deployment was around 9. Then when our backend pushed, it pushed around to then it resorted to 2. So it's like it's trying to like report an issue that the deployments are not adding up for various teammates. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Okay, so I think you're asking if they are calculating both they are calculating 2 servers.
Yeah, it's
Is-
not aggregating for like the teams, the what's it called, the leaderboard points.
Okay, you're saying the commit you made is not greeting the leaderboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that it's not being aggregated, but there are some calculations or how to put it going on, right? But that has been resolved. That is currently being worked on to be resolved.
No, all right, thank you for that. Then the second one, right, I think is one it's about like a much more technical one, about like creating a database server on PyPops. So, like someone said earlier, we've been having this 503 issue and we've been unable to resolve it. So, we want to like, is there like a proper way to go about creating database servers on PyPops that if you can like put us through on that? Or if there's like a Q&A already for that, like we really appreciate it.
Oh, okay. I think what could happen, right? We could reach out to the team and just like have this conversation one-on-one and see what the issue was personally for you. Because again, the 503 might mean different things for different people, right? So I think you have to treat it like on a personal, on a use case by use case scenario.
Okay,
Yeah,
so who should I reach out? Slack, sorry, in the Slack channel.
yeah. If you just post it on Slack, right? So someone will attend to it.
Okay, all right then.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Goodness, Mbakara. I think so. Hi, goodness. Okay. I think I'll wait for goodness, right? Um. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah. You're audible.
Okay. All right. So my issue is with the deployment. So I deployed the forked repo because this was like 3 weeks ago. So when we're having issues and trying to understand how to deploy, so we deployed the forked repo, which actually deployed successfully and made a commit on the forked repo, and it was registered on PipeOps. And then later we found out that we're supposed to create a brand new one and make use of that one, which we did. But then every time we tried to deploy a new repo, we kept getting this build error. And so I don't know, we tried to link things up and try and see if we could, I don't know, we just tried a lot of things, but nothing seems to be working and it's quite frustrating. We've made like the maximum number of commits yesterday, not too much reflecting. So we tried troubleshooting again today and went on PipeOps and saw that the PipeOps was still seeing the original account of the forked repo, right? Not sincerely, I don't understand, but it's the name of the original forked repo that we forked from that is reflecting on it. So when I tried deploying another repo again this afternoon, I kept getting another error that said that JSON file not found, something like that, while deploying or while trying to deploy on PipeOps. So I was hoping maybe you guys could help. I don't know if my question is clear enough.
All right. Yeah, your question is a bit clear. What I'll say is, can you drop your handle, your Slack? Some people that have dropped their messages here on your Slack, I'm already reaching out to them directly on the community because your case is quite unique. So I don't want to take other people's time. So just drop it here immediately so that I'll just message you directly on Slack now, so we can see how to fix the issue you're facing. Does that work for you?
Elizabeth, did you get that? Okay,
Yeah.
great. That's what. Hi, Aurelua Jai.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so thank you for having us. My question is almost similar to Elizabeth's, but the issue is we are two on my team. I'm the front-end developer. The back-end developer, he made a mistake of submitting the link to the forked repo also. So in the process of trying to redeploy and all that, and all these resources problem, he deleted that one. So we don't have access to that repo on PipeOps, and he's supposed to like code the backend. So I don't know if there's a way we can update the account that is registered for the hackathon and all. But for my own front end, everything is going fine because I created React project and all, and I deployed, and everything is going fine. But his own is delayed, and also I don't know if there's any way you can help us.
You said what was wrong with the backend project? Sorry. Can I come again with the question? I didn't guess. You said something wrong with backend projects. Can you just come again with that?
Okay, I said the backend developer forked the test repository, and when he submitted the registration form, he didn't submit the one that is meant for our project. He submitted that link right from PipeOps for that test repository. So he has deleted it on his PipeOps already when he found out that it was the dummy and all. So now I don't know if there's a way we can have a new a new repo, and it can be updated so that commits issue, everything can be updated. But for my own front end, everything is working fine.
I think what
Has he tried creating a new project?
Yes, he has tried, but he said it's always taking him to authenticate, and it will log him out and it will authenticate the same thing. He's not able to link any other repo to his PipeOps. What?
Authenticate on GitHub or where?
Yes, GitHub. You know that place where you have to like select the GitHub organization or select the repo. It
Yeah.
takes him to authentication again and logs him out. It goes back in the same thing. So he's not able to link any repo again.
Does he, when it takes him back, does he see an error?
No, he doesn't.
let me come in. Yeah, I think this issue has been fixed already. It has been fixed. The push for that was live yesterday, so you should just try that again. So basically, it's been logged out when it's trying to connect to add an organization. So after you connect your Git provider, you're trying to add an organization, it logs you out. So you should just try that again, because I'm very sure that there was a lot of complaint on that yesterday, and that was why we had to immediately push a fix for that. And I'm sure other people have been able to scale through that. I think.
I want to confirm if we continue to work with the new repository now, will the commit on that repository count?
Well, please, you can go ahead with this.
Well, I'm not. I mean, if has he deleted the project? You said he has deleted the project, right?
Yeah, deleted that test repository.
Also, I'm assuming he's starting afresh then, so there isn't a. But I mean, whatever he has done is fine. We'd always figure it out on our end.
Sorry, when was this reported? Like your backend developer?
He reported it yesterday when we were meant to start, right? So I started my front end. So it's not that he has started anything for our project backend. I meant he did that test repository, right? And that was what he submitted when he filled the registration form and selected our team. So that's what I'm just asking for.
All right, since this was yesterday, some push has already gone live already. So what our advice is, what you should do is to just log in, connect his GitHub. I'm sure he has already created a repository on his GitHub. Link that up and start deploying and start pushing basically, because that has been fixed. If that doesn't work, just drop a message on the chat now so that I can reach out to you and wait until when he's done with that. If you can do that immediately on Discord, that would be better so that if there's anything, we can easily jump on that to fix it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, great. I think we can do two more questions before we call it a day. Okay, perfect. Great. So I think Chukwuebuka.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so my question is for my teammate. So he has an issue. His commits are not showing in the leaderboard. So that's an issue that we have. He's our backend developer. So he has been making commits and it's not reflecting. It's just my commits that have been reflecting. So I wanted to know if what the problem is, and yeah.
Ola, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
can
sir.
you?
Yeah, so you said his commits are not reflecting. Are you guys not on the same team?
Yes, sir. We are on the same team, but he joined us later on, like when we registered.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had registered, but he registered again under our team. So when he registered, right, it wasn't the same repo that he used to register,
Okay.
that he used. But yeah,
I'm not too sure what could be going wrong. But I mean, it's something that would that's been noted, and we'll look into it.
all right, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be bothered. You shouldn't be bothered about the commit count at the moment, or at all, not even at the moment, right? Eventually everything is going to be stabilized. I mentioned earlier that there's a fix currently going on. Maybe once that is pushed, you should see some changes.
Congrats. I think we still push
Yeah,
for that.
and sorry, before you move on, what's his name? Timothy. Sorry. Who was the last person that spoke just now?
Ajayi, is it Ajayi?
Yeah, the recent person that just spoke not too long ago, before you started talking.
It's me. It's Chukwu.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Also, can you confirm that firstly, the guy has been added to your repository as a contributor, and you've also correctly linked he has correctly linked this project to the repository, right? Can you confirm that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Timothy, you can continue.
I think we could do the last 4 hand raised up. If we can do that within the next 15 minutes, that would be great. Let's just round up everything by 4:30. Right. So O says I can't really pronounce this thing, but yeah, OXEZELE, right? You can just like go on and ask a question.
Sorry, it's Osezele, but there's
Again? Go again.
actually Osezele.
OXEZELE, yeah, thank you. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Actually, my issues on deployment. Whenever we try to deploy a project, like a commit towards or push towards our repo, it's always showing a server error. And we actually eventually found out it was actually the port that is the issue. I heard you mention it before that we can change the port number to what is on our Docker file. But the port number keeps on changing after every push. I'll keep on have to changing the port number and redeploying it all over again. So I don't know if there's a way to fix that.
I would actually love to see this. You said the port number keeps changing on every push.
Yes.
Um,
If we make 3,000 and we deploy, the next time we push, it changes to like 4,000 and something. I'll have to change the number and redeploy.
this is interesting. Can you drop your hand here so that I can look into that? I would
All
love
right.
I would love to see that.
I should drop my what?
Just message your handle that's on the Slack community on the
All
chat
right.
so that I can reach out to you. Please can you do that now so that I will just reach out to you immediately.
I said, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Also, this one also. Okay. Can she hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think she can hear you.
Okay. So I'd like you to confirm, is it on Git push or when you click on the action button and redeploy? Or is it on PipeOps or from your local when you do Git push from your local?
I think she's done. Yeah, okay. Can you respond? Okay, I think she's dropping a message on the chat. Okay. You can just unmute and just answer the question. I think that would be better off.
Yeah, please do. While she's trying to get back to us, I think we can.
Okay, so let me just go to another person while she tries to, unmute and come back. Hi, Joseph Mary. How
Hello.
is it going?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So basically I am a team. We deployed initially the first day, June 13th, and we made series of commits and it wasn't being deployed automatically. So we saw the issue and that we didn't add the GitHub app there. But after adding that, we've been committing and deploying, but after a while it started showing this error that time limits this exceeded the time limits for our deploys. And so far we're having that issue since and we can't deploy. Yeah.
Alex, I don't know if you would like to answer that. Hello, Alex.
Yeah.
Yes.
So first off, can you confirm if you've not used the resource on your server? That's the first thing. You need to confirm
Okay.
if you have not overcommitted too much CPU or RAM to a particular project, because I think every one of us here needs to have it in mind that the server we are deploying on is a one CPU, 1 gig RAM server. Ideally, it's not supposed to take more than 1 or 2 projects, right? But if you know how to manage your resource well, you can go ahead and use it anyhow you want. So make sure that you check, okay, the number of projects you are deployed, check the server, go into the server, see if you are not already on red, that is, you are not maxing out the resource on the server, and then
Okay.
go adjust your resource on your project accordingly. Else, you will keep running into that issue. If you try this, or maybe if you still have like a lot of resource or enough resource on your server, and you're still having these issues, then yeah, just drop a screenshot of your logs and event page on the support channel, and I'll follow up from there.
Okay. Would you recommend I delete the project that we did, the one that we deployed initially for registration?
Yeah, I think everyone can actually delete that, right? So everyone should actually delete the initial template you used, because that could also eat up like a resource on the already existing project you've added to it. So if you delete that, that will free up more resource for you to use again.
Okay. Okay. Also, we've made so many commits and hopefully it should have been deployed, but the numbers don't reflect the leaderboard in the leaderboard. So I want to ask if that leaderboard really counts for anything.
Are
If
you
we
saying
I,
you pushed from
yeah,
your
we have
local?
pushed and deployed a lot of times,
But
but
does PipeOps picks it up automatically? Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Okay, great.
We've done that, but it's not reflecting correctly on the leaderboard.
Oh,
Yeah. Like Ola said, it's currently being worked on. It will definitely reflect. There's a feast coming up. So definitely reflects.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Let's see. Let's do two more, right? Philemon, I think your hand has been raised up a very long time. Hi, Philemon.
Yeah, good afternoon, all. Sorry, my question was already on the chat, but I wanted to get a confirmation that what I'm thinking is the correct, idea of a public builder. So I wanted to get clarification on what or who a public builder is, and if they'll need to talk about the product in detail, the product they're working on in detail before they can be, qualified, before they can qualify as a public builder.
Okay. I Purpose Birds. I think you best fit to answer this one.
Yeah, thank you, Timothy. So yeah, the public builder, like we've explained here, is it's something to encourage people to share updates about their experience during the hackathon publicly, right? So there is no, there is no guideline that says you need to give certain details about your project, but the idea is just that you engage the public as you build, right? You're building a solution that some people have problems to. So we just want to also encourage developers that are participating in the hackathon to while yes, you might know what you're solving for, it's always good to get external input. And there are actually a bunch of things that come together for the Public Builder Award, also community engagement. So things like joining these calls, right? Joining our office hour calls. Because this hackathon is virtual, right? We've put in a lot of things, a lot of office hours, a couple tasks. We drop, stuff on the Slack channel that we tell people to do. We're actually checking all those things, and we're actually seeing the people that are, engaging things that we drop and people that are engaging us online. So the idea is just to reward people, use a virtual hackathon. Not everybody will get to the final stage where they get to come physically. So two things. We want to reward people that actively participated in the hackathon, actively participated in tasks and, things that we tell people to do as part of the hackathon, and also people that share updates about their experience building their products, experience during brainstorming, experience using PyPops and all of that. So just share that on social media, use the tags, the official tags, so that we can easily track that. We're actually making a post on Public Builder soon, so you can also look out for that to get some more context. But yeah, that's basically, I think I've answered your question.
Oh, okay. So that means just engaging the community in what you're doing, right, during the course of this hackathon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Emmanuel. Okay, for Emmanuel, please let me go with MC Lord. I think you and I've raised up a very long time. MC Lord.
Yeah, thanks, man. So my question is pretty straightforward. And I'm alone on my team, and I am doing front end and back end. I had an issue. My back end is on Laravel, so I had an issue deploying at first, but I resolved that. The question is more around the database. I was unable to add a MySQL database. I tried to drop some, feedback on Slack, but I wasn't really getting the answers. So what I've done is working with an external database that I set up on DigitalOcean. Is that allowed? Is that okay? Can I go ahead? That's just my question.
Hi, Taye, you want to answer that?
Sorry, you said what's wrong with the DB on PyPops? Can you come?
Yeah, when I try to set it up, I get this coming soon dialogue that pops up. That's what I see. And I had actually shared the feedback. This it shows add-on coming soon, right? Whenever I try to set it up.
Which of the database is this?
MySQL.
MySQL. That's very interesting. That's not supposed to be so. So I'll immediately look into that because I think you're the only one experiencing this. But I've
Okay.
tried my SQL database today and I
All right.
may have.
So in the meantime, I'm working with the one I set up on Digital Ocean. Maybe when this is fixed, I can switch back.
I'll jump on looking into that immediately now. So what you can help me do is just drop a message on the chat here with your handle so I can reach out to you immediately and look into it. Because you're not supposed to say coming soon. We've rolled out to 100% of those users, so you're not supposed to say coming soon.
All right, that's fine. Thanks.
Yeah. Please drop your hand immediately so that I can message you and let you know to test again once I look into the issue.
Okay, great. I think we'll do the last two and call it a day. I think Taye, I think you still have like an overview conversation you want to have like a noted earlier on. So I think let's just go with Emmanuel, then Manifest. So hi Emmanuel.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm using Spring Boot with Nix Pack Builder. It works with plain projects, but with no DB links. But I couldn't host my DB on PipeOps via the add-on feature. So I decided to host my Postgres DB on Railway. So I configured the app properties in my Spring Boot project and set the environment variables in PipeOps project settings to link my project with the Postgres DB. But every time I deploy, I get a 502 bad gateway error.
Ola, please, can you handle that why answer people on the chat?
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat the last question?
So I hosted my Postgres DB on Railway and I configured the app properties in my Spring Boot project, set the environment variables in PipeOps project settings to link my project with the Postgres DB. But every time I deploy, I get a 502 bad gateway error.
I mean, coming from your deployment, right? Hello, can you hear me? You're muted.
Hi Emmanuel, can you like unmute and answer?
Every time I deploy and I try to view the project after deployment, it shows a 502 bad gateway error.
Yeah, I'm asking that. Did you check the logs and events on your server detail page?
Yeah, everything it says deployed successfully, but it's just showing a 502 bad gateway error every time I click the link to view the project.
Yeah, it's actually I think your application is actually not running or it's not starting, but it has been deployed, but it is not running.
Well, I tried it on Railway and it's working, but it's showing a 502 bad gateway error on PipeOps.
All right, sorry, let me stop you. Okay, so can you confirm that the port that you have is running on? So on the logs, right, on PipeOps, can you see that your app is running on the logs? And then can you confirm the port the app is running on? If it's the same with what you have on the project ENV,
Yeah,
project
it's same. It's only when I link it to the DB. If I should deploy a regular MVC project with just HTML with it, without linking to any DB, it works. I can view the page. But once I configure it and link with my DB and put in the environment variables, it shows a 502 bad gateway error.
It means your application is not running. I mean, your database is, you're passing your database configuration as an ENV, right?
Yes.
So if you are taking it out and you are running it without a DB and it is working, right? And then you are bringing back the DB and it is not working, then maybe you should check if your application is actually able to connect to the database, right? Yeah, basically, which isn't actually allowing your server to start. I think that's what's going on.
So I think what's going on here is that what I'm suspecting is because he already said he works on railway. So is Olabisi right? Am I correct?
Yes.
So what I'm suspecting is what resource is that the only project you have on PipeOps?
Yeah, that's the only project I have on PipeOps.
Okay, what resource have you given to that project right now? How many MB, how many CPU? Because here's what I'm suspecting. So probably before you connected database, it's a Spring Boot app. Probably it didn't require too much uh, memory or CPU to run something like that. Okay. But now that there is another, there's something else running alongside the app itself, which is keeping the connection to the database alive and all of that. Now it could require more memory than what we have, than what you set for it default right now. So I think you need to check the resource. That's also another thing that could cause the issue. It means the project is deployed, but after we're trying to, bring the project up, it's probably restarting due to a resource constraint issue. I don't know if you understand what I just said.
I think you should also ensure there is no environment variable mismatch, right? Since you are passing in your values as env. Yeah, that's another thing. Try to check if there are no environment variable mismatch.
Well, there's no mismatch, but I will look into the resource issue. Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's do the last question. Then we have that last conversation with Taye. Then we'll call it a day. Hi, Manifest.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, so I have I think two questions. So the first one is yeah, the 502 error. I've done all what the documentation says. I've even maybe I'm like tripping, so I tried building it locally again because I'm using a Docker file for it. I'm using Docker to run my application. So I've tried building locally like several times. I'm even doing that right now to like check if maybe it's from me, but I think it gets in the 502 error. So I wanted to do some debugging by myself. So I snooped around. So I think I saw this terminal on PPOps. So I tried interacting with the terminal because I normally deploy with AWS. So I was like, let me just see if I can, maybe tweak it from like the terminal and all that stuff. So what I noticed was the terminal keeps freezing up. Whenever I input maybe a command, it freezes up. Maybe like after like one command, it just freezes up and doesn't do anything anymore. Then also, whenever I just probably like switch back and forth, the terminal refreshes and starts from the beginning. I don't know if that's like a known problem or a known issue. So I don't know if, because it's actually like really, really annoying, and also it's kind of slowing down progress as well, because I can't really like debug from like, okay, from the Docker image and see actually what's going on and actually like run some commands that I need to like run, since it's kind of like a GUI interface. So I want to like just run some low level things and see what exactly is really really going on, but it's not really helping because I can't interact with the app with the terminal. So I don't know if that's a known issue. Sorry, did you get what I said?
So I got your you said you're trying to debug via the terminal and that's freezing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There's no problem. I'll look into that also. Drop your handle on the chat so that I can just chat with you directly. And I'll just tell you should just get back to the next 30 minutes why that issue's been looked into.
No, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Are
Sorry.
you the manifest? Are you manifest? Someone just dropped the handle now. Don't know if you are the person. All right.
Yeah, it's all. Okay, I think we're able to answer everyone question that raised their hand. That's amazing. It's great to start the first office hour for the hackathon. But yeah, I think Taye, you just go ahead and do that the last conversation you wanted to have before we call it a wrap.
Last conversation.
The questions have been a lot, right? So
I've forgotten the last conversation that I went to have with you guys. What I would just say is, you don't have to build. Just build an MVP, basically. Build something functional, something that works. Might not be everything that's functional, but just the most important feature of the app, just build that and make sure that works and you can demo that. That's what you should not be stressing yourself on fancy design and the rest. Just build something simple, let it work, and be able to explain the problem you're trying to solve and potential once you've been able to solve that problem to the judges. That's just the advice that I'll give you guys. Don't try as much as possible to build. Don't say you want to, oh, you heard of a new language today, you want to introduce that into what you're building. No. Build with what you're comfortable with so that you can easily build fast and have more time to test the product. So that you know when is the due date that you now start, oh, I'm not done that, I'm not done that. So you can deploy the project, send the link to your friend, let them help you test out. Whenever you've done any deployment, send it to your friend, tell them to help you test it out. Me, when I build, I send it to people to help me test it out because there's a way I'll use the product and there's a different way other people use the product. So I'm always curious on, oh, how are these guys using the product that I built actually. So that's the advice I have. I don't know if Ola has any contribution, if Alex has any contribution. Yep.
okay, I think we just definitely just like go around. Just last word to the hackers, just like a general advice. I think I'll start with Ola, then Alex, since Alex is already on stage already.
Yeah. Well, what I'll say is just enjoy yourself, have fun. Don't take it too serious. Just have fun and don't build anything too complicated or too complicating. Yeah, that's all. I mean, you can build anything you want to build. It's just my own opinion.
Alex, any last word to the hackers? Hi, Alex. Maybe a minute. Okay. Seems I think it's muted. But yeah, thank you all for joining this. Sorry for joining this our day 2 office hour. Really appreciate you spending this like an hour 30 minutes of your time. We look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. So we're having 2 office hours tomorrow. We're having one in the morning and one in the evening. So yeah, do what you like to join in. And also, if you have any question, please keep on dropping them on the Slack channel. And we have amazing team members who will be answering those questions you have. So keep on hacking, keep building, and we can't wait to see what you guys and ladies build for the hackathon by Tuesday. Ciao. Bye. Again, thanks, Ola, thanks, Taye for
I want to add something. I want to
Okay.
add something to that. Also, you guys should enjoy the process. Try and make friends within each other and try to help each other basically. If you notice any question someone asks and if you've been able to fix that yourself, please try not to share because we have the number of people that can support you guys are limited. So you guys should also help each other too. I'll try not to respond to as many as I can, but also try to help each other and get to know one another. Oh, this is a gathering of people of like mind. So I think it's very, very easy for us to be able to communicate with each other. Yep. Sorry for interjecting, Timothy, but yeah, I just want to drop that. So yeah, muted, Timothy.
No worries. Yeah, like I said, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. It's fun. It's not a competition. It's not like the competition kind of thing, but it's an hackathon. Just like enjoy the fun, enjoy the process. Looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow at the office hour in the morning and in the afternoon. The link, the link to the office hours tomorrow will be shared, will be communicated. Yeah, see you all. Bye.